Magandang araw at magandang gabi po sa mga nakakapanood sa gabi at sa lahat po ng naaabot ng video natin. Welcome po dito sa AMB o sa Avoy Mix Videos. Ngayon po ang pag-uusapan natin itong pagpasok ng mga Amerikano. So, doon pa lang involved na sila kasi once na inatake ito ng China at nagkaroon ng tinatawag na confrontation at may namatay dito na mga Amerikano o nadamay. Kahit wala pa yung mutual defense na yan, tiyak na makikialam itong mga Amerikano na ito sa gera. So, ito po ang mga grupo na ito, hindi man sila mga sundalo, sila pa rin ay mga American citizen. Sila po ay mga reporters, no? Naggagawa sila ng mga documentary at layunin po nila na mapalabas itong katotohanan, no? Kasi may nagsasabi na drama lang daw itong nangyayari dito sa West Philippine Sea, pero dito napatunayan, walang drama rito, totoo. So eto po, panoorin natin.
The Chinese boat hit us about 20 minutes ago now. The crew tells me they were following us for over an hour, maybe two, while we were all sleeping. This week on 60 Minutes, we are reporting from the South China Sea. We expected on this assignment to see these tensions between the Philippines and China. We did not expect to end up ourselves in the middle of an international incident. We boarded the Philippine Coast Guard ship, the Cape Engaño, on what was supposed to be a routine resupply mission. It was our first night at sea. We had just gone to bed. And then at 4 in the morning, our team was woken up by a loud bang. And then this very loud alarm went off. I go into the hall and my producers, Andy Court and Jackie Williams, are there.
I said, we've just been hit by a Chinese ship. Everything's going to be okay.
I think one of the first things I'm always thinking is, are we rolling? Are we actually rolling on this? In the initial stages, they wanted us to stay for safety inside the cabin, and of course, what we need to do is film what's happening on board.
I'm thinking, are we taking on oil? Are we going to sink out here in the middle of the South China Sea? I'm seeing Coast Guard personnel standing by the door, guarding the door, so we're thinking, are the Chinese about to board our ship?
The Chinese had announced that anyone who goes into areas that they consider their territory, they have the right to detain and take to a place called Hainan Island, which is, it's Chinese territory.
One of our photographers said, get your passports, put them in your pocket, and the most important thing is grab the footage, because what we had just witnessed was something that we'd been hearing about for many, many months, and we had to make sure that when we got off that ship that we had that footage.
So dito po, kahit sabihin mo na matatapang itong ating mga sundalo rito o yung mga ating Coast Guard, nandun pa rin yung kaba, yung intense. Nandun yung sama-sama na, yung gutom. Mismo sa pamilya mo, namimiss mo sila, siyempre. Yung lungkot. Ito nga, kagaya nito, yung galit, nagpipigil ka, wala kang magawa. Hindi ka pwedeng bumaril Tapos, siyempre, yung pag-aalala mo. So, bakit ka mag-aalala? Siyempre, mag-isa ka lang doon. Ang daming nakapalibot na barko sa inyo, yung mga Chinese na ito, So, kung papalag ka, mananalo.
And we could show the world what it was that we were seeing.
It was scary. There's no other way to describe it. And I don't think anything you put on television will accurately convey what it's like.
There are flashing lights, there's lightning, so you're seeing glimpses of Chinese boats out there, but you really don't have a sense, because it's so dark, of what is really happening.
When the lightning illuminated the sky, you got a better sense of how big these other ships were and also how many of them there were.
We have not moved, the Chinese are not moving, and now they're having trouble getting contact out back to headquarters via email or cell phone. There's a question as to whether we're being jammed by Chinese technology here in the area. It wasn't until first light that it really hit us. There's another one coming right here, get ready. The intensity of the situation, the seriousness of the situation.
We were staring directly at the Coast Guard ship in front of us.
I mean, the size matters out there. I mean, the fact that these Chinese ships are so much larger than the ship you're on is something you're very palpably aware of.
Chinese fishing vessels
I've been working for this show for a long time. I've been in a lot of situations that were dangerous and tense in some way. I don't think I've ever felt this vulnerable. You're completely isolated out there. You're completely surrounded.
What we we witnessed on the Cape Engaño had never happened before. Never before have the Filipinos been rammed so close to their own shores.
This latest collision between Chinese and Philippine ships wasn't an accident.
Not long after the Cape Engaño was rammed, the Chinese came out first with their version of the story, and they did wide publicity on it, social media accusing the Filipinos of having instigated the incident. The Chinese took pictures of our team, we did not know this at the time, standing on the deck of the Cape Engaño as we were doing our reporting, and publicized our images, saying that we were part of the Filipino propaganda campaign and that the Filipinos were using 60 Minutes and our team to help dramatize what happened out there. It's been about 3 hours since.
Perhaps the Chinese are not aware that we're not particularly inclined to go along on stunts, but I mean, they accused the Philippines of ramming them, and the idea that the Filipinos had forward the boarding could think of nothing better to do than to ram a much larger Coast Guard vessel, a vessel nearly twice their size, seems a little implausible to me. And in fact, some of the video that was shown in that propaganda video was of another collision involving a different Coast Guard boat, not the one we were on, although the video made it seem like we were on that boat.
You guys have, your phones are working?
I want to be clear, the Philippines have been allowing journalists and reporters onto their ship to sort of film what is happening out in the South China Sea, and so they have been turning the camera on China.
Our job is to document. I don't consider us part of the international incident. We witnessed an international incident. Our job was to not get involved, but to witness and show the world what the Filipinos experienced out there. The intimidation is very real when you see it up close. What you also see, and it takes going out there to see this for yourself, is just how volatile the situation is. You see just how in a moment things could turn out there and what's at stake. You could end up with a war, a conflict that no one is talking about because of potential U.S. intervention, that they could have to get involved in this.
So, napakalaking tulong po nitong ginagawa ng mga reporters na to, ng mga media na ito. Yan po yung 60 minutes, no, para po sila ng mga reporters, mga news o mga documentaries, no. Ang layunin nila ay yung expose po yung totoo, no, na ang Pilipinas po ang hindi nagpo-provoke, kundi walang iba kundi China po ang nagpo-provoke. At eto, patunayan naman nila at nakita natin yung intense sa loob, ano. So kawawa po yung ating mga kababayan dyan na kung wala yung mga armas o talagang binubuwis nila ang kanilang buhay para sa ating mamamayan, para sa karapatan nating mga Pilipino dito sa ating teritoryo. So sana po panalangin natin na hindi pumutok ang gera, at kung sakali mang pumutok ay panalangin natin na tulungan po tayo ng Diyos. Alam naman natin na wala talagang may-ari ng karagatan, at ang karagatan po ay para sa lahat. Ang biyaya ng karagatan para sa lahat, wala pong pwedeng umangkin nito, no? Pilipinas, di naman natin inaangkin to. Ang gusto lang natin ay mag-share at wag hong bawalan yung ating mga mangingisda doon, ano. At siyempre ayaw din natin na pag-anuhan yun, pagharian nyo ng ibang bansa, no? So dapat lahat po dyan ay pantay-pantay. Sige po, hanggang sa muli po. Salamat po sa pagtangkilik ng ating mga video. Maraming salamat po.